It was 3:03 a.m. I remember, because my phone buzzed just as I was about to give up and close my laptop. Another night, another failed attempt at finding a job. I'd been unemployed for 3 months, scraping by with odd gigs and late-night surveys that paid in gift cards. Rent was due in 4 days, and my bank account was gasping at $26.17. The ad shouldn't have even existed. It was on a message board I hadn't used since college, a dusty corner of the internet that felt like it belonged to another era. There it was, nestled between posts about vintage speakers and old conspiracy threads. $500 cash, one night, watch Unit 13. That was it. No phone number, no company name, just a set of GPS coordinates and a time, 11:45 p.m. I stared at it for a long moment, then clicked refresh. The post remained. I don't know what compelled me. Maybe it was the $500. Maybe it was the way the number 13 sat so perfectly aligned beneath the timestamp, like it was meant for me. Or maybe it was because desperate people do stupid things. I sent a reply, half expecting it to bounce. Instead, I got a confirmation within seconds. Confirmed. Arrive promptly. Do not be late. No name, no signature, just those 5 words. The facility sat on the edge of town, past the shuttered gas stations and forgotten warehouses. Easy storage looked abandoned. Rows of dull red doors stretching into the dark like ribs of a rusted carcass. The only working streetlight flickered overhead, casting long, jumpy shadows across the cracked asphalt. Beneath that light stood a man. At least I think he was a man. He was tall, too tall, and thin in a way that made his proportions seem wrong, like a mannequin that had been stretched. His long coat fluttered slightly even though there was no wind. He didn't speak right away. He just watched me approach, with a stillness that felt like pressure against my skull. "You're early," he said eventually. His voice was soft and melodic, but beneath that smoothness, something echoed, like 2 voices speaking at once, just slightly out of sync. "Mr. Velas?" I asked, even though he hadn't given a name. He smiled, or at least his mouth moved in a way that suggested smiling. "Midnight until sunrise, that is all. The unit is paid through the century. You're just insurance." Then he pressed something into my hands, bolt cutters. The handles were cold and rough, and rust flaked off them like dead skin. "Unit 13 is at the back," he said. "Do not enter it, no matter what you hear." I blinked. When I looked again, he was already walking away, long strides that didn't match his frame. Within seconds, he was gone, swallowed by the dark rows of units. The further I walked, the quieter everything became. It was as if the night itself was holding its breath. My footsteps echoed against the concrete, bouncing off the metal doors on either side. I passed units numbered 1 through 12. Each was closed tight, padlocked and unremarkable. Then I saw it. Unit 13. The door was different, warped inward, like something had slammed into it from the outside or the inside. The paint was scraped away in long vertical gouges. Something had chewed on the padlock, not scratched or cut, but chewed with teeth. I swallowed hard. There was an office chair nearby, dusty but stable. I dragged it over, positioned it facing Unit 13, and sat down. Midnight was less than 10 minutes away. I pulled my jacket tighter and glanced at my phone. No signal. Of course. I looked back at the door. Something about it felt alive. The dents almost formed a pattern, like veins or scars, and if I stared too long, I could swear they pulsed. I shook my head and blinked hard. Just the shadows, just nerves. Then the clock struck 12. The first hour passed with nothing but silence. I tried listening to music, but even with earbuds in, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was listening to me, watching. Every creak of my chair felt like an invitation for something to respond. At 1:17 a.m., the knocking started. 3 raps. Slow, deliberate. I froze. My playlist had ended 10 minutes ago, and in the absence of sound, the knocks cut through the quiet like hammer blows. I stared at the door. The padlock trembled slightly, like it had flinched. 3 more knocks. I stood up, phone flashlight trembling in my hand. I considered calling someone, but there was no signal, and even if there had been, what could I say? Hi, yes? I'm being haunted by a storage unit. I took a shaky breath. Hello? My voice cracked. It echoed slightly. Nothing. Then, don't answer it. The voice came from my left. I turned so fast I nearly dropped my phone. The voice had come from Unit 12. Its door was sealed with heavy chains, thick enough to hold an engine block in place. It had been silent when I passed it earlier. Who's there? I asked. Don't let it out, the voice said again. It was female, weak, and frayed with age or fear. No matter what it promises. I backed away from Unit 12, nearly tripping over the chair. My legs ached to run, but my curiosity was louder. 3 more knocks, this time louder. And then the whispering started. The whispering came not just from Unit 13, but from all around me. Faint voices slipped through the cracks of locked doors, too low to understand. But every few seconds, one phrase, repeated, clear as day. He always picks the desperate ones. I spun in circles, flashlight darting from unit to unit. I expected someone to leap out. Nothing did. Who are you? I shouted toward Unit 12. Silence. Please, I said, my voice smaller this time. Tell me what's going on. A pause. Then, I used to be the insurance. My stomach dropped. I stepped closer to Unit 12. The chains rattled as if pulled taut from the inside. Why are you locked in? Because I stayed. The voice sounded exhausted, like a whisper from someone who'd screamed too long. I thought I could handle it. I thought if I just lasted until dawn, I'd be fine. The padlock on Unit 13 thudded again, not from knocking this time, but like something bumped into the door or pressed its weight against it. What's in there? I asked. Another pause. Then, it's not just a what, it's a they. Something old, hungry, clever. More whispering filtered in around us. Some were crying, others laughing. I began to realize the other units weren't empty, or maybe they had never been storage units at all. They make deals, the woman continued. Promises. They'll offer you anything. But the moment you believe them, they feed. Then why do they let people go? I asked. They don't. They wear you like a mask. You become the bait. I staggered back. I should go, I said, more to myself than her. You won't, she said. None of us ever do. I sat back in the chair and stared at the bolt cutters in my lap. My fingers ran over the chipped, red handles, rust flaking beneath my nails. Don't. Every rational part of me begged. Run. Now. But the whispering never stopped. They weren't angry whispers anymore. They were coaxing, luring. My name slipped between, syllables spoken like a lullaby. I heard my sister's voice, dead 10 years, giggling the way she used to when we played hide and seek. You can see her again, one of the voices promised. My throat tightened. My hand moved before I consciously made the choice. The bolt cutters clinked against the lock. I hesitated. Then the knocks came again. 3. Sharp. Urgent. I squeezed the handles. The metal screamed, a groan that cut through the air like a wounded animal. The padlock burst open and clattered to the concrete. Silence. Even the whispering stopped. I reached forward and placed my hand on the door handle. It was warm. Then it opened on its own. Darkness spilled out. Not like light receding, but like something alive had been holding its breath and had finally exhaled. The flashlight in my hand dimmed. The beam, once strong, flickered weakly as if the darkness was swallowing it. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of wet earth, copper, and rot. But there was something sweet too, sickly sweet, like overripe fruit left to ferment in the sun. The concrete floor inside wasn't concrete anymore. It pulsed beneath my boots, soft and spongy like living tissue. I stepped inside, 1 foot, then the other, and the air grew warmer. Not temperature warm, but intimate, like being inside someone's mouth. The walls were slick, organic. Fibers shimmered just beneath the surface, like veins or tendons, twitching at my presence. The corridor twisted, spiraled, made turns I couldn't understand. I should have been 10 feet deep, but the walk went on for minutes. Then it spoke, not aloud, but in my head. You brought the key. I stopped. My thoughts weren't my own anymore. They ran parallel to something else, like a shadow overlapping mine. Shapes moved in the walls, hints of limbs, faces pressing outward like something buried just beneath the surface, begging to be let out. Their eyes never blinked. At the far end, something unfolded, not stood, unfolded from the dark. It was vaguely human, but wrong. Its arms were too long, joints bent the wrong way. Its skin sagged like wax over bones not meant to exist. Its face, God, its face was almost beautiful until it smiled. Then it split, not horizontally, but vertically, the mouth opening from chin to crown, revealing rows of teeth like polished stone. "We've been waiting," it said. "Mr. Valers always finds such good helpers." I couldn't move. Every instinct told me to run, to turn back. But my body didn't listen. My feet stayed planted. My hands trembled at my sides. The creature took a step closer. Each motion looked painful, like its limbs hadn't been made for walking. Behind me, the entrance to the unit was gone. Not closed, gone. Replaced with solid, pulsing wall. The creature tilted its head, the smile never fading. It studied me the way a collector studies a coin. "You have the shape," it said. I opened my mouth to scream, but no sound came out. Instead, a warmth spread through my skull, like someone pouring syrup into my brain. "We remember hunger," it whispered. "But you bring memory, regret, pain, flavor dot." It reached toward me with one impossibly long hand. Its fingers bent in too many places, clicking softly as it touched my cheek. Ice and fire surged beneath my skin. My mind thrashed. I saw flashes. My sister, smiling as we built a pillow fort. The day I lost her. Me, signing the lease I knew I couldn't afford. The ad, the bolt cutters, the door. "Yes," it said, "you remember so well." I fell to my knees. The ground beneath me breathed. I swear it inhaled. Around me, the walls trembled. Faces emerged from the slick flesh, dozens, maybe hundreds, all sunken-eyed, all screaming, all me. Then the scream turned inward. I wasn't on my knees anymore. I was watching myself on my knees, from a corner of the room, and then from another, and another. They were me. I was becoming them. The creature leaned in, its voice now inside every part of me. "Don't worry," it whispered. "You'll get used to the knocking." They found my phone 3 days later, duct taped to the ceiling of the facility's office. The last video on the device plays automatically whenever it's turned on. In it, I sit in the office chair outside Unit 13. I'm smiling. My skin looks pale, waxy. My eyes don't blink. "Mr. Vallis was right," I say to the camera, my voice just slightly wrong, like someone else is echoing me from inside. "It's easy work once you get used to the sounds. Would you like to apply?" Behind me, something tall and thin shifts in the shadows. The video ends with 3 slow, deliberate knocks.